For years, Americans dreamed of home ownership, the cornerstone of stability, freedom, and wealth. But in 2025, that dream is being taxed into a nightmare. Across the nation, states are quietly raising property taxes, hitting new homeowners the hardest. Some blame inflation, others call it poor fiscal management. But one truth remains: first-time buyers are carrying the burden. According to the Tax Foundation, property taxes have jumped an average of 8.7% nationwide in just the past year, with some states pushing double-digit increases. Local governments are desperate for revenue, and with home values soaring over the past decade, they have found an easy target: the people finally trying to buy. The result is growing frustration among middle-class families who believed that owning a home meant stability. Instead, they are learning that the dream now comes with hidden costs that climb higher every year. Today on Discover the Nation, we revealed the 10 states across America dramatically increasing property taxes for new homeowners in 2025, where the price of a dream home carries a heavy and unexpected cost. Every day, we uncover the untold stories behind America's housing, migration, and economic transformations, the truth that goes beyond the listings. Let us begin.
Number 10. North Carolina. North Carolina has long been one of the South's fastest-growing states, a magnet for families, retirees, and remote workers seeking lower costs and a better quality of life. But in 2025, the state's affordability advantage is quickly disappearing. Once known for modest taxes and affordable homes, North Carolina is now facing one of the steepest property tax hikes in the region. State reports show an average increase of 12% this year, with some counties far exceeding that mark. Wake, Mecklenburg, and Durham, home to Raleigh, Charlotte, and Chapel Hill, have all reassessed property values after years of housing growth. For many homeowners, the shock has been immediate and painful. Families who bought homes in 2021 or 2022 are seeing their annual tax bills nearly double, wiping out any savings they hope to gain by moving south. Local governments blame infrastructure demands, population surges, and rising school budgets for the increases. New roads, expanded classrooms, and higher public employee costs are straining budgets across the state. Yet residents are not convinced this is fair. Many newcomers feel misled, lured by the promise of Southern affordability only to be blindsided by steep taxes once they settled in. Retirees and remote workers from higher tax states like New York, New Jersey, and Illinois are particularly frustrated. One Raleigh homeowner said, "I left New Jersey for lower taxes. Now I'm paying almost the same." The problem is bigger than perception. North Carolina's population growth has forced counties to expand services faster than their tax systems can handle. But rather than spreading the cost evenly, new homeowners have become the easiest targets. As construction continues and property values climb, the state's reputation as a low-cost refuge is fading fast. The growth remains, but so do the growing pains.
Number 9. Florida. For years, Florida was the ultimate escape, a place of sunshine, beaches, and freedom from income tax. But in 2025, even paradise has a price. Property taxes are rising at their fastest pace in more than a decade, and new homeowners are being hit the hardest. According to the Florida Department of Revenue, median property tax bills have jumped by more than 10% in just 1 year. In counties such as Miami-Dade, Broward, and Collier, where home values have exploded, some new buyers are seeing annual increases of thousands of dollars. The reason is a perfect storm of rising insurance premiums, hurricane recovery costs, and expanding local government debt. Florida's Save Our Homes law was meant to protect long-term residents by capping property tax increases. But for newcomers, that protection does not apply. When a property is sold, the taxable value resets to full market price, creating a massive gap between neighbors. A Miami homeowner who bought in 2024 now pays nearly $11,000 in annual property taxes, while the person next door, who purchased the same home 10 years earlier, pays less than half that amount. For retirees and remote workers who moved to Florida for financial relief, this has been a shock. The lack of income tax no longer offsets the rising costs of daily living.
In some coastal counties, homeowners now pay as much in insurance and taxes as they do in mortgage payments. Local officials claim the hikes are necessary to repair infrastructure and prepare for future storms, but residents call it a betrayal. One homeowner told the Tampa Bay Times, "We thought Florida was affordable. It is starting to feel like New York with palm trees." Florida's sunshine still draws millions, but behind the palm-lined streets is a financial storm few expected. For new homeowners, the dream of easy living is slipping further away each year.
Number 8. Georgia. Georgia's rise was once a success story of the South, defined by affordable homes, good jobs, and low living costs. But in 2025, that success is being tested by surging property taxes. Since 2020, several Georgia counties have reassessed property values to close budget gaps. Atlanta area homeowners have seen average property tax increases of 13% this year, while suburban counties such as Fulton, DeKalb, and Cobb are reporting spikes above 15%. New buyers are facing an even bigger hit. Each time a home is sold, its taxable value resets to full market price, often 40% higher than before. That means younger families, first-time homeowners, and new arrivals from other states are paying far more than long-term residents next door. Locals call it the newcomer penalty. Home prices across the Atlanta metro area have already climbed nearly 40% in 5 years, and with mortgage rates hovering near 7%, these tax increases are pushing affordability out of reach. The average homeowner in Fulton County now pays more than $4,000 a year in property taxes, a sharp rise for an area once praised for affordability. City leaders say the hikes are needed to fund public safety, schools, and transportation. Many younger families are beginning to look farther outside the metro area to counties such as Coweta, Henry, and Forsyth, hoping to escape rising bills, only to find similar reassessments waiting there too. Georgia's economy still looks strong, with companies investing and Atlanta's skyline growing. But beneath the surface, frustration is spreading. The promise of affordable Southern living is slipping away. For newcomers trying to build a life in Georgia, homeownership now carries a price few expected to pay. If you want to understand how fast-growing states are quietly taxing their way out of affordability, subscribe to Discover the Nation, where we follow the money behind America's housing divide.
Number 7. Texas. Texas has always been a symbol of freedom, opportunity, and low taxes, a place where big dreams met affordable living. But in 2025, that reputation is changing fast. While the state still boasts no income tax, property taxes here are now among the highest in the nation, averaging nearly 2% of a home's assessed value. Across major cities like Dallas, Austin, and Houston, new homeowners are feeling the full impact. Local appraisal districts have reassessed thousands of properties at record levels, sending tax bills soaring. Families who bought homes in the past 2 years are reporting annual property taxes exceeding $12,000 on mid-range homes. For many, the shock came right after closing, when their first bill arrived far higher than estimated. Local governments say they need the revenue to keep up with growth, but residents call it an ambush. The problem lies in how the system works. Texas does not offer tax caps or protections for new buyers. Once a home sells, its value is reassessed immediately at full market rate. Longtime owners enjoy limited annual increases, but newcomers do not, meaning a family that moves in today could pay double what their neighbors pay for the same model house. Even as Austin's real estate boom cools and migration slows, tax collections continue to climb. Rural counties and suburbs are raising rates to fund schools, infrastructure, and public safety, while homeowners shoulder the cost. Texas still markets itself as business-friendly, but for many residents, the numbers tell another story. Between high property taxes, rising insurance premiums, and escalating home prices, the dream of affordable Texas living is slipping away. The Lone Star State remains a land of opportunity, but for new homeowners, the price of that opportunity has never been higher.
Number 6. Colorado. Colorado's beauty has always inspired people to put down roots, mountain views, crisp air, and a lifestyle built around freedom and nature. But in 2025, the cost of calling Colorado home is climbing faster than the peaks themselves. This year marks the state's largest property tax reassessment in 4 decades. State data shows an average increase of 15% for homeowners, and in resort counties such as Eagle, Pitkin, and Summit, the hikes are closer to 20%. For new buyers, the impact is even more severe, as values are reset immediately to full market price. The surge is being driven by skyrocketing property values and the expiration of temporary tax relief programs introduced during the pandemic. Counties argue they need the extra revenue to fund wildfire prevention, school expansion, and infrastructure repairs. But homeowners say they're being pushed to the limit. In places like Aspen and Vail, retirees are being priced out of homes they have owned for decades. Even middle-income residents in Denver and Colorado Springs are struggling with tax bills that have jumped thousands of dollars in a single year. Local governments insist that strong demand has made reassessment unavoidable, but many see it as another example of fiscal overreach. Colorado was once celebrated as a balanced middle ground, a state with manageable taxes, high quality of life, and natural beauty unmatched in the West. Now, the cost of living is among the highest in the region. Insurance premiums and energy prices have climbed alongside taxes, leaving many families reconsidering their place in the Rockies. The mountains still offer their breathtaking views, but for thousands of homeowners, the financial climb is steeper than ever. If you want to understand how the American dream is being reshaped in states once considered affordable, subscribe to Discover the Nation, where we uncover the stories behind the numbers.
Number 5. Illinois. Illinois has long carried the reputation of having some of the highest property taxes in America. But in 2025, that burden has reached a breaking point. Across the state, new homeowners are facing average tax increases of 14%, the steepest in more than a decade. Officials point to rising school budgets, pension shortfalls, and inflationary reassessments as the cause. But residents see something else: a system that punishes anyone trying to buy a home. In Cook County, which includes Chicago, the median annual property tax bill has now surpassed $9,000. In some suburbs, that number exceeds $10,000. For middle-class families, that can mean paying nearly as much in taxes as in mortgage costs. The reassessment process is at the heart of the controversy. Each time a property changes hands, its taxable value is reset to full market price. Longtime owners, protected by caps, continue to pay less, while new buyers are charged at the updated rate. Two identical homes can have property tax bills that differ by thousands of dollars, simply based on when they were purchased. For many families, moving to the Chicago area no longer makes financial sense. Businesses are relocating across state lines to Indiana and Wisconsin, where taxes and energy costs are lower. Illinois has already lost nearly 500,000 residents in the past 5 years, and analysts say property taxes are one of the main reasons why. Local officials argue they have no choice, citing decades of unfunded obligations and declining revenue. But homeowners say they are tired of paying for the state's mistakes. Illinois' economy remains resilient in parts, yet the pressure on property owners is unsustainable. What was once a proud, thriving state is now facing a slow-motion exodus.
Number 4. New Jersey. New Jersey has never been known for affordability, but in 2025 it is setting new records for cost. The Gardwa state now carries the highest property tax rate in America, averaging 2.4% of a home's assessed value. And for new homeowners, the situation is even more punishing. Across suburban counties like Bergen, Monmouth, and Morris, property reassessments tied to rising home prices have sent tax bills soaring. First-time buyers who thought they had finally made it into the market are opening envelopes that demand $14,000 to $16,000 a year just in property taxes. That does not include utilities, insurance, or maintenance. Local officials blame the surge on ballooning municipal debt, school district costs, and reduced federal funding. New construction, teacher salaries, and pension liabilities have strained town budgets to the breaking point. But residents argue that mismanagement and over-reliance on homeowners for revenue are the real causes. The impact on the market has been immediate. Home sales are slowing across the state, listings are sitting longer, and young families are thinking twice before buying. Even lifelong residents who once dreamed of retiring in New Jersey are reconsidering, selling their homes and moving to Pennsylvania, Delaware, or the Carolinas in search of lower costs. What makes it worse is the unevenness of the system. Two identical homes on the same street can carry tax bills that differ by thousands of dollars simply because one sold recently and the other did not. For newcomers, there is no relief and no grace period. New Jersey remains a state of undeniable beauty and opportunity, from its tree-lined suburbs to its oceanfront towns. But beneath that charm lies a growing financial trap that is squeezing new homeowners from the moment they move in.
Number 3. California. For decades, California's Proposition 13 was celebrated as the shield that kept property taxes under control. It protected long-term homeowners and gave generations of Californians stability. But in 2025, that same law is creating a two-tier system that punishes anyone trying to buy today. Because California reassesses homes at full market value when they are sold, new buyers are paying far more than longtime owners. After years of record housing appreciation, that reset has become brutal. Median property tax bills have climbed by 11% in just 1 year, and in cities like Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Jose, newcomers are now paying double what previous owners paid for the same homes only a few years earlier. For young families and professionals entering the market, it feels like the deck is stacked against them. School bond surcharges, local assessments, and new split roll proposals are adding layers of cost on top of already inflated home prices. And when you combine that with California's rising insurance premiums and some of the highest utility rates in the nation, even six-figure earners are struggling to stay afloat. What once was a dream destination for upward mobility is now one of the hardest places in America to own property. Longtime residents hold on tightly to their low tax assessments, while new arrivals shoulder the burden of a system that has not kept pace with economic reality. California's housing crisis is no longer just about the price to buy. It is about what comes after, the hidden costs that keep homeowners locked in a financial squeeze. The sunsets are still beautiful, and the coastline remains breathtaking. But behind that postcard image is a growing divide between those who bought long ago and those trying to build a life now. If you want to see how the dream of California homeownership is being rewritten, subscribe to Discover the Nation, where we tell the stories behind America's most expensive housing markets.
Number 2. New York. New York has always been a powerhouse, a state of ambition, energy, and opportunity. But in 2025, it is also one of the most heavily taxed places in the nation, and property owners are feeling the squeeze like never before. Following years of budget deficits, crumbling infrastructure, and mounting pension obligations, the state has rolled out sweeping reassessments. The result has been a statewide property tax surge of more than 13% in a single year. The pain is especially sharp in Long Island, Westchester, and the Hudson Valley, where home values are high and local budgets are stretched thin. In Nassau County, new homeowners are paying an average of $18,000 annually, while in parts of Westchester, that figure easily surpasses $20,000. Even upstate, where housing once offered relief, many small towns have quietly implemented market reset clauses that automatically raise taxes to match recent sale prices. For new buyers, that often means paying 30% more than the previous owner overnight. Local leaders defend the hikes as necessary to maintain schools, repair roads, and stabilize city budgets. But residents say the system is broken. Every increase drives more families to leave, taking their tax dollars with them, deepening the very deficit the state is trying to fix. The exodus is real. Families are packing up for the Carolinas, Florida, and Pennsylvania, trading high taxes for stability. Even retirees who once dreamed of growing old in New York are selling and heading south.
The Empire State skyline still shines, its culture still inspires, but its middle class is fading. Each new tax bill feels like another reason to go.
Number 1, Massachusetts. At the top of our list is Massachusetts, the new epicenter of America's property tax shock. Once admired for its education, innovation, and quality of life, the Bay State is now confronting a reality few expected. In 2025, property taxes here have surged faster than almost anywhere else in the nation. According to the Massachusetts Department of Revenue, average property tax bills have risen more than 15% in just 1 year, marking the largest single-year increase in modern history. In Boston and its surrounding suburbs, the jump is even more dramatic. Towns such as Newton, Brookline, and Wellesley now report median annual property tax bills exceeding $17,000. For new homeowners, that number can climb even higher. The culprit lies in reassessment. Whenever a home is sold, its taxable value is reset to the full purchase price, instantly erasing decades of caps and exemptions that long-term residents still enjoy. The result is a widening gap between neighbors, where one family may pay half of what another pays for a nearly identical home. Local officials say the revenue is essential. School budgets, transit projects, and infrastructure repairs all depend on rising assessments. Yet many residents feel trapped. Even middle-class families earning six-figure incomes say they can barely keep up with taxes, mortgage payments, and insurance. For first-time buyers, the dream of owning a home in Massachusetts often turns into years of financial strain. Communities that once represented comfort and success now reflect inequality and frustration. The Bay State remains beautiful, from its historic neighborhoods to its coastal charm. Yet, beneath that beauty lies a warning. The higher the success, the higher the cost of staying.
From Massachusetts to North Carolina, one truth is clear. America's tax landscape is changing fast, and home ownership is no longer the safe bet it once was. States desperate for revenue are turning to property taxes as their last lifeline, leaving new buyers to foot the bill. For policymakers, it's a balancing act. For families, it's a breaking point. The dream of owning a home hasn't vanished, but in 2025, it comes with fine print written in rising tax bills. Thank you for watching Discover the Nation. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, subscribe, like, and share, because we uncover the stories that shape America's housing future every week. Because behind every number, there's a family trying to hold on to the American dream.